Thank you, Admiral. Our next speaker is Mr. James Kinney. Mr. Kinney is the Executive Director for the Engineering Directorate of NAVSEA, that's CO5. In this role, Mr. Kinney is responsible for the technical authority of all Navy ship, submarine, carrier, and unmanned craft. Mr. Kinney entered into government service in 1982 as a nuclear engineer at Norfolk Naval Shipyard. He entered the senior executive service in 2014 in charge of nuclear planning for Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard and served in that role for Norfolk Naval Shipyard. In 2017, he was a recipient of the Presidential Meritorious rank and has received meritorious civilian awards from both Pearl Harbor and from Norfolk Naval Shipyard. Please welcome Mr. Kinney.
Good morning and welcome to the 2021 all-panel meeting. This is an important engagement here today and a significant one, as this is the 50th year of the NSRP program. So welcome, congratulations, and we greatly appreciate your contribution to our nation and to our Navy. So we couldn't be any more pleased that NSRP is a part of this CO5 portfolio, that we believe that there's incredible synergies between the investments and the programs that are sponsored and brought forward through the NSRP, and alignment with our organization and the tech warrant holders so that we can affect change and advance best projects, best investments for our Navy. So we could not be any happier of that, and we have great alignment in NAVSEA that we have NSRP in the right place at the right time, and it is really part of that technical competency, the technical authority portfolio. We really appreciate the level of investment of your time and the continuous strive for improvement, and these are having positive impacts on ships maintenance, ships construction. And so we can't underemphasize the importance of this program and how we honor and really want to advance the cause of this, show the true worth. So we are thrilled that we're making great progress towards how we can account for the value through rapid adoption projects. We'll talk about that at various points throughout this engagement. So we have to realize the real great power competition is, in fact, that it is real. Our adversaries are building at rates outspending us and trying to gain every single advantage. Our purpose is, how do we make our fleet ready to handle those challenges of today, those challenges of tomorrow, and we can outpace a very aggressive, a very determined adversary. We've got real budgetary realities that have been encountered this year, and a lot of this engagement here over these next couple of days have seen that happen. Our sponsors are having to make very hard decisions on how to fund and support C&O priorities. As such, we went through a drill here recently where a significant cut was taken. We engaged immediately between Eric, myself, and our staffs with the appropriate OpNav and RDA staff to be able to understand and try to work out ways to advance the cause. That resulted in us making some agreements to be able to advance and not take full cuts, but how could we advance the cause for all of our projects we think are vital. But we had to make some fairly quick unilateral decisions to be able to, if with limited funds and to minimize the impact of the total funds cut, how could we advance some key products that could show the inherent visibility, the inherent value of NSRP. As such, I want to assure you that is not precedent setting. The power of this organization is the teamwork, is the collaboration, and it really was the outset and the outfall of some unique budget cuts that were taken here in real time. So I want to assure you that we are committed to full transparency. We are committed to the teamwork aspect, and the recent endeavors were really as response to those, and how do we best recover and show the true value of this organization and the true value of what this organization brings to our Navy. Our program executive offices in NAVSEA are committed to NSRP. We're committed to our part of the funding line. And so we are focused on now how do we show and our true return on investment, how do we improve quality, how do we improve, minimize rework, how do we focus on cost reductions, how do we focus and achieve on-time deliveries. Those are true bottom line results. Those are true results that matter to the nation, that matter to the Navy. And so we have ongoing dialogue, and we urge us to continue to work on, for our NSRP rapid adoption projects, how do we quickly bring mature technologies to bear on real problems today, and we can do that at speed and at pace. So a big part of the discussion is how do we focus on that, more information and more dialogue, and your input will be greatly appreciated. How do we bring mature technologies at pace, at speed, to help the Navy? By now, you've either heard via email or in Eric Euler's comments. Eric is moving on to ever-increasing responsibilities. We've selected him as the Deputy Director for our Readiness and Logistics Organization, NAVSEA 05R. So our deepest congratulations and appreciation for what Eric has done in his position and working with this great team. In this capacity, he'll work alongside NAVSEA's Chief Logistician, who is now part of the 05 family, to advance and make sure that we get the right parts at the right time for our Navy and bring his experience to bear in this vital area. But as we are sad that Eric is departing, and it's a mixed blessing, because again, it is a chance for him to continue his professional development and his ability to contribute to our Navy. We couldn't be any more thrilled with Eric's relief, and Eric's relief is Ben Canalang. Ben Canalang was most recently our tech warrant holder of Marine Gas Turbine Systems. I've worked alongside Ben personally for the last 3 years. Ben brings a wealth of experience from programmatic, the technical, the ability to work with vendors, with our shipyards, and great relationships with our sponsors such as N96. So Ben brings an incredible energy and passion, and I believe is absolutely the right guy at the right time. So we'd like to welcome Ben to this great organization, and we wish Ben all the luck in the world, and realizing he doesn't need luck. He's got the right skills. He's got a great team with you all, and he's got our full endorsement. So welcome, Ben. NSRP, we know that our focus is laser. Our focus is on how do we bring on time, on quality, on schedule, at cost, advancements that support our maintenance, repair, and our shipbuilding endeavors. There's no shortage of opportunities when we look at the demands that our Navy is seeking for us to be able to fulfill. And so I ask us to, as we look at this, how do we really, again, focus on those mature technologies that we can bring, and we can get a rapid return. We can see palpable evidence. We know future budget cuts are real. And so relevance, quickest is the thing that will win the day, and is the thing that wins the day for the Navy, and it wins the day for continued investment opportunities that others will see behind NSRP. So I can't stress the importance of how do we continue to collaborate, work together, and bring technology, bring innovation, bring advancements to our Navy as quickly as possible. From the great power competition, from where we are with budgets, it is vital, and your support, your continued support is appreciated, and it's as we work together, I know that we can achieve greatness. So there's no question on the value that this organization brings to the Navy and to our U.S. shipbuilding and ship repair industry. I believe you have more impact than anyone that the organizations truly understand. Your impact is real and palpable. And when we work together and we can focus on how we've returned that investment, your hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears into palpable, returnable evidence, that again focuses us and focuses the organization, the Navy, and how we advance the benefits from this program. So thank you for your participation and congratulations on 50 years of service and commitment through the NSRP program. Best wishes for a successful engagement here and look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, Mr. Kinney. Our next speakers this morning will be Don Hamadike. Mr. Hamadike is the chairman of the Executive Control Board for the National Shipbuilding Research Program. He is also the new director for Program Development and Integration for Newport News Shipbuilding. Following him will be Mr. Eric Aller. Eric is the program manager for NAVSEA's NSRP program, NAVSEA 05TN. And following him will be Mr. Neil Graff. Neil is the program officer for ONR's Navy Mantech program. Now, following these speakers, we will have a question and answer session. So please, as your questions come up, please provide those and direct them to the individual you'd like to have answer the question during the presentations. Mr. Hamadike.
Welcome to our special guests and keynote speakers, fellow shipbuilders and ship repairers, industry partners, Navy, Coast Guard, and commercial customers, ONR Mantech leadership, and all participants to the 2021 NSRP all-panel meeting. I hope you're all safe and well, and let's hope this is the last virtual all-panel meeting. There's nothing like a few days in Charleston in the spring in great company to help refocus, reset, and recommit. In the meantime, we'll just persevere. Like many industries and organizations, NSRP has learned and adapted in the midst of a global pandemic. I'd go so far as to say that overall participation in our panel events throughout 2020, as well as increased diversity in that participation, have generally increased. In my humble opinion, that on-ramp for new ideas and new perspectives will help shape and change NSRP in a positive way as we forge into the future. As Mr. Duca mentioned, we find ourselves in the 50th anniversary year of NSRP, an amazing milestone for a unique framework that's endured and provided great value to the U.S. shipbuilding and ship repair industry. Sprouting from its origins in SNAME in 1971, many of the build strategy concepts, technologies, tools, construction practices, and general shipbuilding thought leadership that we take for granted today were incubated in the early days of NSRP. Please take a second to consider what you do within NSRP. Look around the virtual room at your coworkers, leaders, partners, customers, and even competitors, and realize that you're likewise building the foundation for the shipbuilding and ship repair industry of the future. You should be very proud of that. When I think about how we're influencing the future right now, a few thoughts emerge. We're paving the way for increased robotic welding and other automation in our shipyards, building the technical bridge to wide use of additive and other advanced manufacturing, moving the digital revolution forward with applications of AR, VR, and mixed reality, creating adaptability in our platforms with physical open architecture, validating new design and construction tools, piloting powerful business technologies like blockchain and AI applications, and so on. Just consider for a moment the power of those opportunities and many more being talked about and acted upon in an open forum with the member shipyards, Austal USA, General Dynamics, Bath Iron Works, Electric Boat, and NASCO, HII, Ingalls and Newport News Shipbuilding, Conrad, Halter Marine, Vigor, Fincantieri, Marinette Marine, and BAE Systems Ship Repair, all in the same room. Then there's the U.S. Navy itself, MARAD, NOAA, numerous other shipyards, maritime professional organizations and classification societies, SNAME, ASNE, American Bureau of Shipping, the new Association for Materials Protection and Performance, academia, and the many small, medium, and large technology partners and providers. And you get quite an impressive shaping force. Within NSRP, we've always prided ourselves in being a truly unique, industry-led board, but in the same breath, it's a distinct privilege to speak in this slot between our two primary Navy customer and partners, Mr. Jim Kenny and Mr. Eric Aller. Both of these leaders have demonstrated very strong personal commitments to maximizing the mutual investments of industry and Navy by collaborating with us, helping us become more self-critical, and guiding us in the direction of Navy priorities. Thank you both, Eric and Jim. That partnership is particularly critical in this period of great power competition, budget pressures, and the increasing need for innovation. Those forces have highlighted the need for identifying return on investment for projects, as well as rapid adoption projects to speed up the return on our mutual investments. The connection between our recent budget reduction and the need for these new tools is real and tangible. The competition for dollars will simply never evaporate. And the better we can make compelling cost and schedule improvement cases for our projects, the better positioned we'll be to thrive. Those business cases are doubly important when you consider that industry is cost sharing at a significant rate of about 50% by applying our IRAD dollars through an OTA, Other Transactions Agreement, which is NSRP's overarching contractual arrangement. That's a choice that reflects the value we see in the whole NSRP ecosystem. So as an industry board, we've been working hard to find the best way to make these new elements a part of our process and structure. To that end, you'll note that Mr. Duco will be hosting a virtual mini workshop on rapid adoption projects after our first break to help us all better understand and ultimately develop and execute this new and important category of NSRP work. Please join in and let's learn together. I'll be wrapping up my 2 years as ECB chair in a few short weeks. That experience has given me a much deeper insight into the talent, dedication, creativity, and hard work that is at the core of our panel officers and members, major initiative team leaders, shipyard delegates, program administrator and team, executive control board membership, project participants, and all the other stakeholders that comprise the NSRP mission and heartbeat. The privilege and honor of leading and just being associated with this collective national asset are unrivaled in my personal experience. Thanks to all of you who make up that national asset, not only for the work, but for the wonderful humanity and personality you bring to the table. Whether it's from the comfort of your remote workplace, your physical office, or elsewhere, please take full advantage of the entire agenda this week. If you're a veteran of NSRP, you know the depth and breadth of dialogue that happens within the panel sessions. If you're newer to the game, I predict you'll have some aha moments as you make the rounds. You'll likely see evidence of some clear and meaningful emerging trends that are noteworthy, including but not limited to ever-increasing participation by digital and software experts and suppliers, the growing drumbeat of unmanned systems as an integral part of the current and future naval force, and perhaps most importantly, the steady crescendo of urgency to contribute to our Navy's readiness. The recent shift of Navy program management of NSRP to NAVSEA 05 offers a major opportunity, and collectively, we need to seize that opportunity. Direct alignment of the Navy's technical experts and authorities with the NSRP Navy portfolio is a foundational improvement that has the promise of earlier buy-in from our major customer and perhaps even streamlined implementation of cost-saving technologies. There are few individuals that have demonstrated more dedication to an improved NSRP future than our next speaker, Mr. Eric Aller, the NAVSEA NSRP Program Manager. Please welcome Mr. Aller.
Good morning, National Shipbuilding Research Program. I'm Eric Aller, your Program Manager, and I'm so glad that you are here for our biennial all-panel meeting. This event during odd-numbered years and ShipTech during even-numbered years probably provide your best opportunities to understand the breadth of research that NSRP and ONR Mantech are performing. I urge my fellow government employees to take full advantage of the PACT agenda. You're very likely to discover at least one project team that's working on a solution for your challenges. I urge everyone from industry to do the same. You are also very likely to find something that you can use. You may also find the right subject matter experts to resolve a challenge we haven't addressed yet. Don't hesitate to ask questions during these technical presentations. That's what the project teams are here for. During our last all-panel meeting in 2019, I participated in the general session and was able to attend only one technical presentation. I spent the rest of my time happily getting to know you and talking about what we could accomplish together. That was great. As a program manager, I enjoyed those discussions in the hall. As an engineer, I really missed attending those technical presentations. Well, this year's quite the opposite. As an engineer, I will really enjoy those technical presentations. As a program manager, I will really miss those discussions in the hall. My wife says I should have asked for a breakout room called the hall. As you know, the Navy is facing significant budgetary pressure. There are many, many excellent programs taking budget cuts so the Navy can properly fund programs that have higher priority. NSRP is one of those excellent programs. We took a significant cut in our OPNAV funding this year that made it so we could not afford to start the FY21 projects selected by the Executive Control Board. This cut was not about performance, it was about priority. There are higher priority programs in NSRP that need more money. It's as simple as that. We have been able to make the case to keep a little more of the OPNAV funding than we had expected. We're still talking about the exact amount. Rest assured that NAVSEA 05 and our PEO sponsors like Admiral Moten continue to provide their financial support. Perhaps NSRP's biggest strength is that we are a collaboration where government and industry work together for the benefit of all of us. Today, that collaboration is more important than ever. We are engaged in a long-term competition that threatens our security and our way of life. We need a larger, more lethal, more ready fleet to maintain our advantage at sea and protect America for years to come. You, the NSRP and Mantech communities, will make that possible. Your projects find ways to make our Navy more affordable so we can build more ships. Your projects find ways to reduce the cost, weight, and volume of combat systems so we can build more lethal ships. Your projects find ways to make repairs more efficiently and more affordably so we can have a more ready fleet. NSRP and Mantech projects are helping us get the larger, more lethal, more ready fleet we need. That's great. But are we having the impact that we could have? I think we can and must do better. Expanding our impact will address more challenges across our industry. Expanding our impact will make this program a better investment for our stakeholders and is likely to improve our financial stability. Expanding our impact will help our Navy expand our advantage over our adversaries. There are many ways we can expand our impact, but perhaps at the most basic level, we need to build our project plans with the end in mind so we can be sure to address all of the hurdles leading to implementation. The goal is not to develop a solution. The goal is to develop an implemented solution. We also need to have our solutions implemented by more shipyards. Probably the best way to do that is to talk about your successes with more audiences. Some of you have published articles in trade magazines or professional journals. I really appreciate that. Some of you have issued press releases describing your accomplishments. That's awesome. I can use both of those types of material. Most of you present your findings at panel meetings or Mantech program reviews. These are great steps to reach other private shipyards, but they're not tremendously effective at reaching the shipyards that are not NSRP members. Naval shipyards, ship design managers, Navy program managers, or senior Navy leadership. But we have developed the lines of communication to share your successes with all of these groups. Yet we need your help. We have very little material to share with them. Send us invitations to your demonstrations and final presentations. Send us success stories about your accomplishment. Your program administrator will be glad to forward that information to us. We will share those materials across NAVSEA so that more decision makers can learn about it and implement your solutions. Well, this type of communication can expand your impact and transform a good project into a poster child for what NSRP is trying to do. Please help us spread the word about the great work that you are doing. We need your help to do that. I have truly enjoyed being your program manager for the last 2.5 years. It seems like the blink of an eye. You are very talented Americans, very dedicated to your industry, and wonderful people to work with. In a bittersweet moment, I need to tell you that I've been asked to take on a new and very challenging role. Later this week, I will become the Deputy Director for Readiness and Logistics supporting Captain Stuart Day, who was at one time the NSRP Program Executive. He is now NAVSEA's Chief Logistician, and I will help him make sure we have the right people, processes, and technologies in place to affordably maintain fleet readiness. I can honestly say I've never thought I would be in a logistics position. Well, Ben Canneling will be your next NSRP Program Manager. Right now, he is the technical warrant holder for gas turbine system intakes and uptakes. He has quite a bit of experience developing new solutions to technical challenges and adapting commercial solutions to Navy needs. He'll bring a fresh perspective while maintaining the course with our current initiatives and especially maintaining the spirit of collaboration that we have worked so hard to establish. I've been honored to be part of NSRP for this brief period. I've enjoyed working with all of you. The members of the Executive Control Board represent you well. We have had some very difficult and yet productive conversations as we struggle to find the best way to fulfill NSRP's mission during these challenging times. There is such wisdom in that group. Your NSRP shipyard delegates, your major initiative team leaders, and your panel chairs provide the technical expertise and leadership that makes all of this possible. Those of you who participate in panel meetings make this such a very effective collaboration. And the project teams are amazing. I really enjoy hearing subject matter experts enthusiastically discussing their team's accomplishments. You are making it possible to build and maintain the Navy that we need, and I thank you very much. Our next speaker is Neil Graff, a program officer with the Office of Naval Research Mantech program. I had an office next to his when I worked there, and I know that he, like you, is dedicated to successful research and development for the Navy. Please welcome Mr. Neil Graff.
Good afternoon. My name is Neil Graff, and I'm the lead for the Navy Mantech program. Many of you personally know John Carney, the longtime Mantech director, who retired in July of 2020 and worked with him for many years. However, you might not know me as well, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself for the next few minutes. I'm currently the program officer and contracting officer representative for the Composites Manufacturing Technology Center, Center for Naval Metalworking, and the Interjects Manufacturing Technology Center. Previously, I oversaw the Naval Shipbuilding and Advanced Manufacturing Center of Excellence as well. I also serve as the chair and Navy principal for the Joint Defense Manufacturing Technology panel. I support the Navy Mantech program since 2003, although predominantly on the composites area and on the Navy's aircraft side as the lead for all of the F-35 and CH-53K heavy lift helicopter efforts. Prior to joining ONR, I served in the Naval Air Systems Command, Materials Division, Polymers Composites branch, providing materials and manufacturing engineering support and composite engineering for the V-22 Osprey and F-35 Joint Strike Fighter programs. I began my career at Lockheed Martin Space Systems as a principal investigator for independent research and development programs. I'm here today to brief you on the Navy Mantech Technology Program. Our presentation includes background on the Navy Mantech Program, its investment strategy, centers of excellence, and organizational structure, and finally, recent successes that have broad applicability to other shipyards. Next slide. As many of you know, the Manufacturing Technology Program, or Mantech, has the mission of industrial preparedness. Our goal is the development of enabling manufacturing technology, new and improved processes and equipment for implementation on DoD weapon system production lines. We're established in law in U.S. Code Title 10 and are governed by DoD Directorate 4200.15, which governs how the Mantech program should make its investments. The DoD directive states that we should invest in transitioning emerging S&T results into acquisition programs to serve as that bridge between R&D and production. Also to improve industrial capabilities in production, maintenance, repair, and industrial base responsiveness, and to advance manufacturing technology to reduce costs, improve performance, and responsiveness. Our funding this year is about $60 million, and it's fairly stable over the next few years. We execute via our centers of excellence, which you'll hear more about in a few slides. And our main points of contact are the ONR program officers and those centers of excellence. Next slide. Our FY22 investment strategy was approved by the Chief of Naval Research, Admiral Lawrence Selby, in July of 2020. It has two main focus areas. The first is our traditional area of major acquisition program affordability. We've continuing support of the Virginia class, Columbia class, DG51, and CVN 78 platforms. We're ramping up, initiating activities to support the FFG 62 fast frigate. And we are ramping down activities on the C-53K heavy-lift helicopter platform. Our second focus area is in capability acceleration, and this thrust area supports the CNO, Chief Naval Operations direction, to get capabilities to the fleet faster. This funding is used to address production and manufacturing technology-related issues to enable that accelerated capability to the fleet. Next slide. This capability acceleration is a focus area is about 20% of our Mantech budget, and we have identified 7 main thrust areas shown here. Some of these areas are new to the Mantech program, such as the unmanned vehicle production area, while others, such as submarine fabrication and F-35 canopy production acceleration, be evolved out of our current platform-based strategy. Next slide. As mentioned earlier, we execute our program via Centers of Excellence. Shown here are the 7 Centers of Excellence. One, the Energetics Manufacturing Technology Center, is governed as a government-run center out of Indian Head. The others are contracted research centers at Penn State University, ACI, or ATI. These Centers of Excellence execute projects and manage project teams. They collaborate with acquisition program offices and PEOs, as well as industry and other key stakeholders to identify and resolve manufacturing issues. They develop and demonstrate key manufacturing technology solutions. They facilitate the implementation and tech transfer of these developed technologies. We'll hear more about these Centers of Excellence as a brief later this afternoon. Next slide. When John Carney retired last year, ONR decided to move the Mantech program underneath the existing materials division, led by Dr. Julie Casaldu. She has a number of other program officers that support materials initiatives not shown here. This chart shows just the Mantech organization. There are currently 3 program officers with a vacant billet for metals. Again, my name is Neil Graff, and I'm the program officer for the composites, as well as the energetics. I'm acting for the metals. I also am the portfolio manager for the air and ship platforms in our capability acceleration thrust area. And I'm the Navy principal and chair of the Joint Defense Manufacturing Technology panel. Mr. Scott Bartlett from Carter Rock is assisting me in the composites area and is also serving as a JDP composite subpanel chair, Navy representative. Paul Long is a program officer for our manufacturing enterprise area. He is a program officer for the NSAM and IMAS Centers of Excellence and is our portfolio manager for our sustainment initiatives. He also has additional duties on the JMTP AME subpanel, as well as some manufacturing institutes as a guest researcher at NIST. Mike Hackert is a new member of our team. He replaced Rich Henson, who was a former program officer for electronics, who retired last year as well. He's a program officer for electronics and electro-optics Centers of Excellence, and is a portfolio manager for our interactions with POIWS. As I mentioned before, our metals position is currently vacant. However, we do have Dr. Jeff Farron as full-time technical and programmatic support to help me in that area, as well as to be the primary focal point for communications with Carter Rock and the NAVSEA communities. Next slide. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about some recent success stories at Mantech that might be of interest to a number of the shipyards here today. Next slide. Our first project is the Alternative Coating and Surface Preparation Solutions for Ball Valves project out of our IMAS Center of Excellence. Currently, the green Teflon coatings are used as solid film lubricant to reduce the operating torque of the ball and the valve assemblies. The coating on the air system ball valves, or ASBV, peels and wears after a low number of cycles, potentially causing an increase in seal wear and operating torque. Teflon peeling of ball valves has increased inspection rejections, which increased rework and acquisition costs. The project goal was to identify, test, and evaluate and implement potential alternative manufacturing coating systems, coating deposition processes, and/or surface modification processes that improve the performance and extend the life cycle of the ASBV. Next slide. Our second project is the Fall Stack Panel Improvement Project. This is a joint effort between the Composite Center and the IMS Center of Excellence. On this project, the Early Bird class guided destroyer and both the Ford Nimitz class aircraft carriers require a fall stack covering throughout the electronic spaces where inspection and access to electrical and heating, ventilating, air conditioning systems are necessary. For all these platforms, the current composite decking is a structural sandwich panel with a 3/16" honeycomb core, faced with 2 plies of glass fiber reinforced plastic, GFRP, and covered on both the upper and lower surfaces with a wear surface. To ensure a watertight seal, the panels require multi-step edge treatment around the perimeter, and for those on the DDGs, when cut to fit around objects such as pipes, equipment, and furnishings during installation. That process of cutting and sealing of edges is highly labor-intensive. Additionally, the wear surface is prone to cracking, chipping, and delaminating in service. To meet cost reduction targets and improve the supply base, IMS and CMTC, in collaboration with General Dynamics Bath Iron Works, Hunting Ingalls Newport News, and Hunting Ingalls Shipbuilding, evaluate alternative panel solutions. The objectives were to develop a common material architecture that meets the requirements of all surface ships in order to optimize efficiencies of scale, increase the potential industrial base, eliminate the edge preparation work, and generally reduce the cost of acquisition and installation while maintaining or improving performance requirements. Next slide. Our next project is the Hybrid Laser Arc Welding HLAW Process Verification and Implementation for Ship Production from our NSAM Center of Excellence. This project was executed to test the performance of butt welds with the intention of implementing HLAW into the panel line at Ingalls. This project developed systems and processing technology to implement alternative butt welding processes in a new PMA panel line installed at Ingalls Shipbuilding in Pascagoula, Mississippi. The project investigated HLAW as an alternative to the legacy single-sided weld seamer, which used submerged arc welding on plate as thin as 3/16 of an inch. The goal was to use HLAW for thin plate welding applications. As thin steel plate construction increases in naval shipbuilding yards, the machinery used in the panel lines must evolve to properly handle the issues associated with fabricating thin steel. Non-rework hull labor costs are typically generated from the 3 major sources: welding, fitting, and grinding. These costs are greatly affected by weld-induced thermal distortion because the structures lack rigidity until integrated into a stiffened unit. Fitting becomes more difficult and costly. Welding must be done more slowly to reduce defects, and grinding must compensate for increased weld sizes to achieve quality requirements. In later stages, flame straightening costs become significant for hull units that must meet stringent furnace requirements for foundations or erection joints. Distortion and remediation costs include rework of unit fit-up and flame straightening. Our next project is Test Adapter Efficiency Improvement from our EOC Center. Each Arleigh Burke class D-51 destroyer has hundreds of thousands of information links made of copper wire, radio frequency or RF cable, and fiber optic cable. This Navy Mantec project, which was completed in 2020, enables several improvements to the Integrated Link Test System, or ILTS, used at Ingalls Shipbuilding. The number of test adapter types was greatly reduced, and the test adapters are now produced using 3D printing, which greatly reduces lead time for acquisition. A handheld RF network analyzer was integrated into the link testing process, allowing test system capability to 26 gigahertz. Optical time domain reflectometry, OTDR, was introduced for multi-mode fiber optic links. Commercial system partner DIT-IMCO has designed and built a new ILTS, which reduces the equipment size and weight by more than 50%. Our final success story today is the Open and Common Modular Building Blocks Enabling Affordable Radars project from our EMPF Center. Here, power tube amplifiers and high voltage power supplies are unique to each radar design and represent the most expensive and unreliable components of previous generation in-service radars. Solid-state amplifiers and low voltage power supplies, SSAs and LVPS, now replace these components respectively and apply to multiple radar designs. Mantech produced SSA and LVPS components that successfully demonstrated the immediate potential to implement modern radar mission requirements in a single open architecture based on common configurable building blocks. Mantech deliverables represent the baseline SSA and LVPS components for next generation surface search radar, NGSSR, which will be installed on all Navy surface ships. Next slide. As indicated before, a major goal of Mantech program is affordability. We work closely with our project teams and program offices to obtain quantified and recognized cost savings numbers. We do that on a per vehicle basis. As you can see here, we have significant savings for each of our 4 main platforms, ranging between $37 and $62 million per platform. Next slide. In conclusion, Navy Mantech and NSRP have a long history of support and shared goals of optimizing manufacturing processes to improve the affordability and performance of ships. I encourage you to review the information on the Navy Mantech website, reach out to the Centers of Excellence if you have project ideas, and email the Navy Mantech support team if you have any questions. Thank you for your time and attention today.
Thank you all. Now, before we get into the question and answer period of this morning's agenda, we need to cover the antitrust rules. NSRP is a collaboration of industry, and it's governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Department of Justice. And before each meeting, we need to cover the antitrust rules. It's a hard and fast requirement. Regarding your company's pricing, there can be no discussions of your current or future prices or planned changes to those pricing. Nothing to standardize or stabilize pricing. Nothing to control sales or allocation of market. Likewise, regarding your supply bases, there needs to be no discussions about segmentation of the marketplace, refusing to deal with one company, dealing with one company but not another. No discussions that would do anything to inhibit the open trade of the industry with the supply base. And finally, regarding trade secrets, do not have any discussions of trade secrets or confidential information of your company with any other participant. And this applies now for the Q&A session or for the rest of the day or the rest of the week with the panel meetings. Thank you.